Okay, we're live on Facebook for the 10,000 live stream. Hey, everybody.
Morning.
What's up, team? All right, who wants to intro what we're talking about today? Who's got their hands around this? Tracy, you want to jump in?
Sure. When we were preparing for this, we were talking about lots of different things, but somehow a topic just seems to rise to the top. And so we were talking about when you are a realtor, you are auditioning, right? You are on all the time. And it doesn't matter where you're at. You are representing 5-star real estate. You are waving a flag for us, whether you're wearing a t-shirt like Paul today that says 5-star real estate.
Which, by the way, are for sale if you want some.
Right.
Buy them.
Represent, exactly. You too could have a t-shirt just like that. But whether you're out, you know, in the community and you are wearing a shirt like that or not, you are really representing 5-star real estate wherever you are. You are being interviewed. It's like you are auditioning for a part in a play, even if you're not, because people know what you do. They know who you are, and they know that in everything you do, you need to think about yourself as interviewing for a job. So, because people are sizing you up. So at any time you interact with the public, whether you're at the grocery store and you interact with someone, at your kid's soccer game or baseball game or basketball game, whether you're at work or talking outside with a neighbor, you are the face of 5-star real estate and you are a realtor.
Yep. And you are they're always thinking about, could I hire this person or not? I mean, you could be at a bonfire, right? And you could meet clients there. That's kind of the idea, right? You never know. Kim, sorry, you were going to say something there.
Right. Well, you're always the face of your business, even more importantly. And whether you know it or not, they know who you are. The minute you start advertising on social media and as you get more business, they know who you are. And that's going to affect not only your clients, but even other agents. Right?
So really what we're saying here is interactions that you're having with people in the public, online, at an event, at a party, at a restaurant, at church, wherever you might be. Okay, I kind of look at it like a dial. You have hire me or don't hire me, right? So every interaction that you have with people is moving that needle towards, I don't think I'm going to work with that person, or if I need to sell my house or buy a house, I would definitely call Tracy or Kim or Doug. And we want that needle firmly over here, and I'd hire that person. And that is how you see some of these top tier realtors who have, you know, I think Jeff Blonnet calls them just list me's, where they call up, there's no competition. It's like, hey, can you come over, Jeff? I want to get the house on the market next week. Perfect. There's zero competition there for Jeff. Jeff's walking and he's got the listing before he even gets in the door. And that's 30 years, 40 years of understanding that every interaction he has is moving that needle for somebody.
Yep. For sure. Well, and it's interesting. I know we're talking about, you know, people that say, well, they know who you are, or they think they know who you are. But what about those folks that are just getting into real estate, right? Again, I talk about church. I talk about those social places that you can go that obviously you need to tell more people what you're doing, right? Because again, the only person that can share that message is you. And again, that's where I'm just a little bit redundant when I say to people, you can't tell enough people in today's world what you're doing.
Right. Some of the most successful agents I know never stop talking about real estate.
Right.
Now, as an agent, to me, it's annoying because when I'm off, I want to be off, right? I want to be floating down the river, no real estate, phone off. But it's a really good thing when you're out, and I have a really great story about one of our agents, but when you're out, you're talking with people. You're not only just caring about them and loving on them and being fun, but they cannot wonder what you do for a living, right? And so I have a story, one of our agents, I hope it's okay, I'm gonna say his name.
Go for it.
Great. I'd love to give him a little recognition. He's brand new to the industry, DeMarcus Evans, and he comes to training every week. And so we all have a chance to chat and know how to get to know him a little bit, right? And so he was telling me how he loves the Muskegon River. He floats a lot. And so they see him there now, and he's been chatting about what his new career and what he's doing. And so they have now tagged him the realtor on the river. I said, I love it. I love it. It's like, Paul, you showed me somebody with the boat yesterday. Andy Smith.
Andy Smith. Yep. He loves his boat, loves his water sports.
Yep, and he's got the boat and he has a tagline. I can't remember what it was. Sell your boat or a home, something
Yeah,
like that. What
yeah,
was it?
a home for you, a home for you and your boat, something
A
like
home
that.
for you and your boat, right? I think that's great. And then Realtor on the River. So I just think it's a great story about one way to stand out of the crowd as well. But people get to know you, and then you want to live up to that, because you don't want to be the Realtor on the River who's drunk and being stupid,
Yeah.
right? You want to be
Yeah.
the Realtor on the River.
That would move the needle. That moved the needle the wrong direction.
Wrong direction. So,
But I think to both of your points, having those conversations about real estate, like it can look a couple ways, right? Like if you come in like a bull in a china shop and just start talking about real estate, that's also a turnoff,
Yeah.
right? If you're just nonstop, right? But it's amazing how often it's kind of shocking actually how often conversations do lead towards real estate, especially with everyone. Everyone's like, we've talked about this multiple times, and Doug, you're right. It does sometimes it sounds redundant, but this business isn't 100% rocket science. So sometimes we're talking about the same thing. We're just kind of reframing it little bits here and there.
Yep.
But like I told you guys like a few weeks ago, I was at the tile shop and boom, real estate. Boom, how's the market? Why is there no housing? What's going on here? Everyone's curious. So one, know your stuff. Come to classes, understand the market a bit, but be willing to talk about it openly and be open about it. What are other ways, guys? What are some of these other things we talked about?
I'm going to ask Doug. Doug, you're kind of tagged the mayor.
Well, I kind of am a little bit, because I enjoy talking to people about real estate. And to Paul's point, it's interesting that everybody wants to know now, right? Excuse me. Everybody wants to know a lot about real estate. We all are on Zillow. We're all on different venues looking at real estate. But the bottom line is, if there's an opportunity, no matter where you are, to just bring in what you do for a living a little bit. I mean, it doesn't have to be annoying. It doesn't have to be, oh gosh, here comes Doug Hale and he's sure as anything, he's going to start talking about real estate again. So maybe we don't want to talk to him today, right? The reality is conversations just morph into real estate. Don't ask me why that happens.
They do.
This is that day and age that, again, I love talking to people, whether it's at church, whether it's a social event, whether it's at Russ's restaurant, for heaven's sakes, or just something that would spur them to talk about themselves, or gosh, hey, by the way, we're thinking about moving. Who do you know? That kind of thing. So I don't know if I said that. I don't know if I answered your question, Kim, or not, but again, you can't share with people enough.
Right. I think you did answer it. What I hear you saying is you just care about the people.
Yeah.
By caring about them, you do get buying and selling signals.
Yeah.
Right.
All the time. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly right. And again, the conversation many times doesn't start about real estate.
Right. Yeah.
They're talking about the kids in school, or they're talking about a new car they just bought, or something like that. But something to start that wheel ever so slowly. And again, to Paul, your point, that conversation kind of finds itself back to real estate at some point.
Kim said something very interesting that just came out of her mouth a second ago. Buying and selling. You said buying and selling signals. This is really key, because you might miss them if you're not paying attention to the person you're talking to.
That's right.
Right. You might go right past, like for example, if in this conversation someone says to you, hey, so we were thinking about putting a fence in, but we weren't really sure how that would affect resale. Oh, you're thinking about selling it someday, are you? Right. This actually happened. Dustin Anderson and Jessica Anderson. Dustin's actually a realtor here at 5 Star now, but before that, I knew them kind of just casually, and she posted on social media and she said, hey, what do you guys think about putting a fence in? We're not really sure if we're going to get our return on our investment on it when we sell someday. I immediately messaged and I was like, hey, I saw your question about fencing. I said, in our current market, I'm not sure that it matters if you have a fence or not. So maybe save your money and just get top dollar for the house and don't waste the money. And then all of a sudden it spun into, yeah, we're thinking about moving in the next 6 to 8 months. Boom. I ended up getting that listing and I sold them a house, and then I sold them 3 or 4 more houses. Had never worked with them prior. They had another realtor they were working with previously. But I'm saying these are those moments, right, that you like, those buying and selling signals you got to keep an eye out for.
Right. So I'm hanging out at a mattress store about 2.5 years ago, and I'm trying to buy. My kids took their beds to college, so I had a room without beds, and we needed guest beds. So I'm out just researching guest beds. So like Tim didn't need to be there, my husband. So I start interacting with this other couple that are there looking at mattresses as well. And now I'm realizing that I'm following their signals, right? They're kind of following me like, hey, you know, like, did you like that one? What did you like about that one? And so next thing I know, we're interacting over like, what do you like? What don't you like? Are you firm, not firm, memory foam, not memory foam? Next thing I know, the salesman comes over and goes, well, I guess I'm just going to take a coffee break here because, you know, you seem to have, you know, got it all handled here for me. And the next thing he says, well, are you in sales? And I said, yeah. I said, actually, I'm a realtor. And so we have this conversation about that. And then the couple says, we're actually thinking about buying. So do you know that within literally 90 days, I had sold that couple a condo in Novi after that interaction with them at the store. So that's one of my favorite things. But it was just that, you know, I've never met a stranger. I love chatting with people. And I literally met my next client at the mattress store. Okay. So
yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good story.
Yeah.
So we were talking yesterday a little bit too about, we were going to give Leo a slap on the back here because Leo had this, Leo used to be a former kind of trainer here at 5 Star. He's still a realtor here in the Grand Rapids market. But he used to have this phrase, in order to win, you got to play in traffic. You got to be willing to get hit by cars to win in real estate. And I think if you think of it like, you know, what's he really saying? He's saying, well, listen, if you stay in your house all day and you don't go out there and interact with people, and you don't create an opportunity where you're going to be interviewed without even realizing it, right? If you're not creating these moments where you can bump into somebody at the mattress shop, bump into somebody at church, bump into somebody at the event down the street or whatever it is, these are how realtors make business happen. And so anyways, you got to be willing to get hit by cars. You got to play in traffic. That was the thing. So how do we take this idea of always being interviewed and how do we maximize our opportunities to get hired?
Right. I liked the idea of holding open houses. And we were talking specifically yesterday about all of our new to industry agents. And that doesn't matter what age you are. If you're new to industry, you are new at introducing yourself as a realtor, to interact with people specifically. When you hold an open house, you're not holding an open house to talk about the weather or what you ate for dinner or your favorite restaurant.
Right.
Now those things might come up, right, as part of your conversation. But when you decide to hold an open house, you know that you are there to specifically, maybe not sell the house, right? You're hoping to, but if you don't, it's an opportunity to practice. So that's what I like about the open houses. That's what I like about the fact that we have new to industry people who are trying to get in the game. How do you practice if you don't get in traffic?
Yeah, and honestly, you're going to get questions that are going to throw you for a loop at these open houses, and that's good. You learn to think on your feet. You learn to say, you know, and this is honestly, my favorite thing is getting asked a question I don't have an answer to. You know why? Because I get to follow up with them again.
Because you get to follow up. Yeah.
And you know what? I'll tell you what, you know, I promise I won't bug you, but I can text you the answer later or I can email it to you, but I'm going to go and research that for you right now. And I'll get you that answer by the end of the day today. And I have the ability to A, get their information so I can call them back. B, show them I'm going to follow up on my word. And C, have one more chance to say, hey, I don't know if this house was right for you or not, but I can actually help you guys find another house. And I can spin that relationship. And that is how I did at open houses time and time again.
So let me ask you a question. Are open houses even relevant in today's market? Doug?
Are they relevant in today's market?
They sell so fast. Can we even do open houses today?
Well, you know, there's still opportunities for that, guys. Think about this. Does every house sell in a week? Maybe not, right?
Yeah, not all, but right.
But the fair amount, probably an average amount. But again, it gives you an opportunity to, and again, when I got into real estate, yeah, it was a different time than it was today. Obviously, things are selling at a much quicker pace. But I look for excuses to call other agents to say, hey, can I do this open house for you this weekend? And again, when you do something like that and you surround yourself with people that do this all day long, every day, again, you're like a sponge. You're just soaking it up. Paul, I loved your story yesterday. You were talking a lot about when people come to that open house. Again, Kim, this is about buying signals. Paul was seeing buying signals from this person. Share that story, would you? You mind?
So okay, two things here. A lot of times people will say open houses don't work. I've never gotten business from an open house. I would tell you that we should stop and we should rethink that, because that means that you're giving up on a massive possibility or potential for your business, because open houses do work. And I will tell you, the only reason people really hold an open house, if I'm being really honest with you, It's not to sell the house. Sure, you can sell the house. That may happen. It's ultra rare, to be honest with you. You sell the person that walks in the door at an open house and you double dip it. That's just rare. The reason I'm holding an open house is so I can expand my business. I can meet more people. It's a great opportunity. So when I was young and I was in real estate, I feel like I'm still a kid to some extent here. But when I was, let's say I was 24, 25, 26, I was holding, and it was a different market. We have to acknowledge that there was more homes available to hold open. And I was holding probably 5 to 7 open houses a week on Tuesday morning, Thursday morning, Saturday and Sunday. I was holding open houses. Sometimes I'd hold 2 or 3 on a Sunday because I knew I had no business. So I had to go get business, right? And the best way to do it was to get in front of someone who was saying, I'm waving a flag saying I'm a buyer. Okay, great. If I've got to bet my life on something, I'm going to an open house and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to find a buyer.
Exactly.
Anyways, fast forward. And I do think there are tips where you can still get open houses to be held, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I can tell you right now that some of my most expensive sales, in fact, all of my most expensive sales and buyers came from open houses. I had 2 really good experiences. One, I was sitting at a house over here on the northwest side of Grand Rapids. I'm holding an open house. Some lady comes in. She's like, don't bug me. Realtors are so blah, blah, blah. Realtors always want to get my information. She was not willing to give me information. So I was like, fine, whatever. I don't need it. And so then she comes back around. She's like, look, I'm going to give you my email address. I don't want you to bug me. Okay. I want you to tell me if anyone shows interest in this property or if anyone writes an offer. Okay. Well, clearly she's got some interest. I promise her, I say, look, I promise I will not call you. I'm not going to email you. I'm not going to add you to my mailing list. I promise. She calls me back the next day and she says, hey, I know I told you not to bug me, but now I really want you to bug me. I want to write a cash offer on the house. I want the 2 lots you have for sale next door. And I have a house to sell. And also my children want to sell their house.
Oh boy.
Okay. So out of that transaction alone, I think I ended up with somewhere around $48,000 in commission from that open house. The next one that I had, another open house experience. It took me 6 months for it to happen because I met this guy at this open house. I kept the relationship going for 6 months. I didn't sell him that house. But I finally sold him a house for $780,000. I sold his house for $350,000. Then last year, he called me back up, sold his house for $850,000, and I sold him one for $375,000. Okay, I met him at an open house. So I can literally point to well into the 6-figure range from like a handful of houses that I've held open where I've made 6 figures from meeting people at those open houses. So this is real. And if you're not getting deals from an open house and you're not meeting people, it's a massive, massive, massive stream of income you're ignoring. And so we should talk about strategies, how you can win there. And you should just change your approach. So anyways.
Thinking too.
Yeah.
One of the things that we are seeing, to go back to, can we do open houses? I am seeing out there, some of the agents are doing an open house prior to going live with the public.
Yep. So
they might show it Saturday morning from 10 to 12 as an open house, and then they'll open it up for showings, right? So there are opportunities. What do you
absolutely guys? And guess what, guys? Do open houses only happen on Sundays?
No.
Nope, not at all.
Not in this market.
Our best ones are like Wednesday night.
You can hold them on a Monday morning. It doesn't matter. People are going to find their way there if they think they have a chance to get in early. So when you're a young agent and you're a newer agent, you don't have your own houses to hold open, but you want to hold them open. Call up agents who get listings and say, hey, I know you usually list on a Thursday. Can I hold a Friday morning open house? Can I hold a Friday afternoon open house? Can I hold a Thursday night open house? I'll tell you what, I'll buy you a Starbucks gift card if I can hold your house open. I'll buy you lunch if you let me hold your house open. I mean, create opportunities for yourself.
And there's a lot of agents that'll say absolutely no question, because again, that just helps their cause as well.
Yep.
So,
and they're going to allow you I'm sorry, Tracy, when they have business, they're going to remember that you are assertive. You are out there working the business too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt.
And you know what we see too in the first 5 days that a property's listed. I'm going back to what Kim was asking about that. We'll see where, showings begin on, let's say, Wednesday, and they want to collect final offers before 6 o'clock on Sunday night. We'll see agents in this market do what? They might also open that same house that Saturday or Sunday. Why do they do that?
Right. To get the public in. And some realtors will still show up,
Yep.
But and a friend of mine just did this recently, and I rode my bike over to see what was going, and she did have the public there. She
That's
did have
crazy.
it.
And it works.
So it does. And so let's for example here, let's talk about this, because we were talking about people are always watching you. So let's say you get the open house, okay? Now you've got 4 open houses ready to rock and roll here. How are you, Doug, Kim, and Tracy going to maximize that open house to make sure that because let's say that one open house has 35 people come through the door. Okay, so you could literally stand by there and you could just hand out sheets of information, right? That's going to get you nowhere. So let's run through what would you guys do at an open house to try and, okay, now you got the open house. Now you got to make this open house. You got to make this thing sing. You're playing in traffic now. How do you get hit?
Trace, you want to go first, or you want?
Yeah, I was just going to say, at the end of the day, I want you to be yourself. I don't want you to show up 5 minutes before the open house, number
There
one.
you
Don't
go.
show up 5 minutes before it starts. Get there early, get some signs out, be prepared, know what you're doing. Don't have a bookend appointment at the end where you got to race out the door. Leave yourself open-ended. Basically, you have no idea what's going to happen when you get there. I don't do a lot of open houses, I'll be honest with you, because things are selling so quickly. And COVID has also, not been a big fan of open houses, but these things are opening up more. And what I'm thinking about is what does it look like to do things consistently? What could your book of business look like 1 year or 2 years from now when you show up early for that open house? You're prepared, you're yourself. I want your personality to come out. I want you to develop skills on meeting people and talking with people, because that is what is going to sell you more than any piece of paper that you hand out to them. You need to be authentic. You need to be your true authentic self. You need to be available. Allow people to move around at their own pace. You don't need to be following them where they feel like.
You're right. You got to find some way to break that ice to make it a real interaction. I'll give you mine. I'll give you my trick real quick.
Yep.
So what I would do is I would have information, right? Because I went, okay, so I'm like, okay, here they walk in and I go, hey guys, come on in. Yeah, come on in. Here's some information. Now take a look around, guys. I'll be by the kitchen. First off, we can all debate this. I don't make them sign in. Okay, because I don't want to ask them for something before I've given them anything or anything like this. So anyways, they walk through, then they come back down and I'm going, okay, now they've had a chance to sort of like get comfortable inside the house. I go, what do you guys think? I mean, do you love it, hate it? Should we knock it down? Like, what do you think about the house?
Right.
And I literally give them the chance to say, this thing's a piece of junk or I love it, right? I'm not going, did you see the gourmet kitchen? Did you notice the Jen Air fridge? Because now I'm fake.
Right.
Because I'm talking to a human and I want to know what you really think about this house. So I break the ice that way where I literally will just kind of like, I'm like, what do you think? Love it, hate it, knock it down? What do you think, guys? And then we kind of make a joke about it. So I start joking with them as fast as possible.
Yep.
Get them joking, get them laughing with me. Then I start making comments like, so how long you guys been looking? And they go, oh, 6 months. I'm like, oh yeah, man, it's brutal, isn't it? Right? Oh gosh, it's competitive out there. And I'm spinning it all towards, you're going to be looking for a lot longer if you don't work with a realtor that can help you win. So that's my end goal, right? My end goal is to be like, I can help you. I can give you a plan that's going to win, but it takes me maybe 8 to 10 minutes to get there. And I'm doing it all in a way where we feel like we're walking together. I've never grabbed the conversation and I've never taken the conversation where you're now listening to me. You know what I'm saying? We're working this way together. That's just been my strategy. I know other people do it different ways. I've heard some people have great success by having people sign in and they call them the next day. Kim, you do a bit of the sign in stuff. Why don't you tell us your strategy?
Yep, I do sign in and I don't bug them. And if they hesitate, like, I don't want to do it, I go, it's okay. If you don't want to sign in, it's okay. And if they do sign in, I go, like you, I promise I won't spam you.
Yep.
So I do have I was taught that way and I get success. I have a friend, they walk in the door, she hands them a clipboard with the survey and says, here, when you walk around, fill this out. And they fill it out and she got so much business. So, I mean, I think it has, like Tracy was saying, with your personality as well and how I've had them come in and like say it's February and there's thanks and it's 10 below and they come to my open house and I've literally said, wow, you must be really serious. You're out in this weather. And they're like, I'm gonna buy a house by Friday, right?
Exactly.
It's
That's a great,
little
things to get them to open up and feel relaxed. Because, I'll tell you right now, guys, those 2 interactions I told you about where I had those high-end buyers that I landed that turned into sellers as well, both of them called me back and said, I am working with you because every other realtor hounded me.
Yep.
And you respected me, you respected my boundaries, you weren't all over me, you allowed me to walk around. And so that was how and you know what, there's going to be some people who go, he didn't give me enough attention, I'm not going to work with him. Fine. I'm never going to be all things for all people, but I think the most important thing is what you and Tracy said. You've got to find a way to be yourself, to connect in a way that's real. And that's how I've done it. I'm not going to hound them, and that's worked well for me.
I think what we're saying, we take their cues. If they put the wall up, like, please just let me have my space, give them their space. You know, I might say to them, hey, enjoy looking around. A couple things you might not see in this house in the lower level. They just, redid all the landscaping down there. Or I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but there's something that they can't see. You know, you might notice down there's this huge storage room or whatever. It's not a very good example, but what they can't see. So another example that Paul mentioned is, so I've done the open house where somebody came in and they gave me the hand, like, don't bug me. And I thought, well, she's acting really odd, and she's looking around the house, and I just kept working with other people and talking to them, and she had her hand up basically, and she slipped out of the house. And I thought, well, that was weird. Okay. And then my open house was almost over, and she comes back and she goes, okay, let me tell you who I really am. I go, okay. She goes, I'm a neighbor. My house is for sale. I'm not happy with my agent. Would you come see me? I think those cues are really, really important.
So she was watching you, and she was, as we said earlier, she was interviewing without even your knowledge.
Yes.
Super impressed with the way you were handling it. And that's what brought her back. Yeah.
Yep. And I did get the listing, and we did sell it. Yeah.
Hey, and the other thing too, as you're doing open houses, I always talk about that mindset. We always think that as we're doing an open house, a lot of the people that come in the door, there's a very good chance that they're working with another real estate agent, right? So, and I always hear agents say, well, gosh, half the people that show up here, I know they're already working with somebody else. Okay. So how often have we had a gang that, you're sitting there, you're talking to somebody, all of a sudden they maybe volunteer that they're working with somebody else right now. They're not happy with their agent. They're not listening to me. I'm finding all the houses for sale, all of those things that we constantly hear over and over again. And I've gotten listings just as a result of being a good listener. I'll ask, what's important to you guys in finding the right real estate person to work with? And they'll tell you, be careful. They'll tell you, right?
A great way to do that at an open house is to say, so how'd you guys hear about us? Did you guys find it online? Did your realtor send you?
I asked that question.
And they'll either say like, yeah, I found it online. And if you say, I would ask both, like, did you find it online? Did your realtor send you? They'll go, oh, we found it online. We don't have a realtor. Bingo.
Right.
Bingo.
Right. And that's what is when you say to them, oh, so you've seen this online. Great. So you've already seen the house. And that's where you might come back and say, I'm thinking of something where you say, okay, a couple things you might not have seen. We just put a new roof on in 2017 or 2018, and we have all new mechanicals. Take a look around. Let me know if you have any questions.
Yep.
Oh.
And you know what, even if you hold that open house, okay, and let's say you do 2 or 3 of them, in a weekend or over the course of a few weeks, and let's say you don't get a single buyer out of it, not a single thing. Don't look at it as a failure. It's totally not a failure. You just got to practice your skills, right? You got to create an environment. You got to make it your own, and you got to practice. And so this is really part of developing your skill. And you can't develop your skill in a box. You can't be a secret agent, right? We talk about that. You can't be a secret agent. People need to know you're there. And guess what? These are bona fide buyers that are walking in. Now, they might not be bona fides that you end up having an opportunity to work with, but it's about practicing your skill.
Yep. And don't give up. And don't give up, because along with what Tracy said there, there's a lot of things that are happening that you can't see. And if once you're in the business long enough, you will see that people who met you at an open house, they will call you 6 months later. They will call you a year later sometimes.
Yeah.
I've sent out a just sold postcard that was like 3 years old. I showed up, got a call from this lady. I showed up, my postcard that's 3 years old is on her fridge.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, well, that postcard was a waste. 3 years later, I'm here. And she's like, well, I got your postcard. You sold at my neighbor's house 3 years ago. Yeah. Wow. So my dad, Greg, uses this analogy where he goes, everything you do, every open house you hold, every interaction you have, every postcard you send out, everything you do on Facebook, right? It all starts to, it's like he rips off a little piece of paper, he throws it in the coffee cup. He goes, every interaction, every message, everything you do, every open house, all of them, boom, boom, they keep filling into this cup. And eventually that cup starts overflowing And that is where you see these realtors that have built these 100% sphere-based businesses, right? Or these businesses that are successful, and it goes, how'd you do it? Well, they recognize they had to keep going, to keep filling up the cup, keep having these interactions. Don't give up. Don't think open houses are a waste because you've held 3 and you converted nobody.
Yep.
Talk to one of us about your strategy at an open house, and we'll help you rethink that strategy to make it more effective.
Right. So who do you know at 5 Star this weekend? Connect with somebody on Facebook Connect. Maybe you know someone, maybe you don't. Find someone who's got some listings and be willing to put yourself out there so that you can show them your work ethic, so that, you know what, someday when they need a favor, guess who they're going to call? They're going to call you.
And you know what?
Yeah,
Facebook Connect is, go ahead.
I call them one-on-one. It's
Yep.
good to connect, but I'd say tag some of the agents,
Yeah.
call them up, right?
I would
Yep.
call them too. Facebook Connect will work. You will pick up open houses. You can fill in an open houses rebuild this way. But
Yep.
look at the top 20 list at
Yep.
5 Star. Look at those top producing agents. These agents have listings.
Yep.
Call them up. See if they'll let you hold one. Be aggressive. Offer to. I'm not even kidding here. Offer them a gift card to let you hold the open house. Do whatever you can to create an opportunity, because I'll tell you what, that open house could be worth $50,000, $20,000.
You
So
don't
a
know.
gift card to let someone hold you an open house, that you hold their open house, that is cheap, guys.
Mhm.
Don't be passive. Don't just wait. Get out there and go for it.
Hey,
And play in traffic.
Hey,
Play in traffic.
just real quick, and I'll tell you a quick story. I was in the Muskegon office yesterday. Kim, Tracy, Paul, you'll say, man, that means people are watching this and they're learning from this. Think about this young man named who? Nick Sparks, right?
Oh,
We
yeah.
had him on Facebook how many weeks ago? He was talking about his follow-up and his this and his that. And I
Mhm.
said, what's going on, Nick? How are you doing? He says, you aren't going to believe this. And he gave me a story, took about 10 minutes to say, Nick, I hope you're watching today, because what you did, man, that is just so intuitive. And you're following up and you're following up. Now all of a sudden, gosh, gang, now he's got to go list a property on Lake Michigan
Mhm.
just because of his follow-up.
Mhm.
Just because of the basic stuff that it started from an open house, kind of turned into something special. They know him, how they trust him, and now look at the business he's getting. So it's
Yep.
all good.
Okay. All right, guys.
All right.
Be creative. Go for it. Don't be discouraged. If you are, give us a call. We want to be there for you.
Absolutely.
So, all right, everybody.
All
Thanks,
right.
team.
Okay. All right.
Hey guys, have a great week.
Have a great week.